you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special shout out to our sponsors, Shortstops, Burger Shakes and Fries, and Furniture Share. For more information on Shortstops Hamburger Shakes and Fries, go to southpawspizza.com. And for more information on Furniture Share and their annual Veterans Day bedding drive, go to FurnitureShare.org. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, we are ready to go. It is Monday, and we are here on Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. I am looking forward to a fabulous week. I've got a short week this week, and so I've got to get a lot done in a few days. And so I just am super excited to get moving. And, I want to start off today by, first of all, welcoming you all to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. We are here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're back to Pacific Standard Time. There we are, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Monday and Thursday, here for you with amazing people who connect. That is what we're all about. This is all about how amazing people connect. So if you want to see some pretty crazy, amazing people, and I mean that in a good way, crazy, amazing, that you need to tune into Marketing with Russ. Also want to say that I would love for you to share this out right now. If you're watching right now, hit the share button, share this out, let people know what's going on, and please subscribe to YouTube. That'd be fabulous. We'd really love to have you as part of this community, because by being on YouTube, you get the whole library of all the 250 plus episodes. I'm losing track which one we're on, that you can see all these amazing people, and notice it's about upcoming. The easiest way to do that, go to marketingwithruss.live. That'll take you right to my YouTube page, marketingwithruss.live. You can get all my live streams. Love to have you as part of that. So thank you for that. And I really want to say a big, huge thank you to Furniture Share and Shortstops Burger Shakes and Fries. Without our sponsors, we would not be able to do this and bring you this every week. So I really, really appreciate them so much. There's a big Veterans Day bedding promotion that is happening this month, helping veterans. And there will be more information that will magically appear in the comments. There's extra posts that have been going out, and that'll continue to happen today and tomorrow about the Veterans Day promotion, helping vets and getting bedding and the things that they need. So anyway, just appreciate all of that. And just want to say thank you again to all of our sponsors. We have sponsors every show, and I'm amazed with all the wonderful people that are there to support us. Also, want to just remind you again that I love to connect with people. The best way to connect with me, RussHedge.com. That's right, RussHedge.com has all the information about what I do. And people say to me, okay, Marketing with Russ, this is about how amazing people connect. How does all that work? Well, let me tell you what I do for you. How can I help you? What problem can I solve for you? Well, let me tell you. First of all, so many people are having troubles differentiating themselves, helping them stand out and get visibility in the marketplace. And I help you market you, because you are the difference maker. You are the one that differentiates yourself from others in your market. So I help you market you, and I want to help you today. You can go to russhedge.com and we can chat. There are so many things I can do for you by coaching you, by consulting with you, and also by doing some marketing for you and helping you. So there's many ways I can actually help with marketing, but this show alone is a huge, huge free benefit to you, being able to see all the amazing people and great ideas they have. So yes, not only connect to me, but connect to my guest today, which is Darren Gibb, who's going to come in the house here any moment. Are you ready, Darren? Here he comes. Good morning, Darren.
Morning, afternoon, Ross. Russ, how are you, my friend? All good with you?
I am so good. Yes. Good morning to me. Good afternoon to you. We are covering the world today, and I am so glad to have you back. We had such an amazing conversation before, and I wanted to continue that because I'm really good about trying to keep my live stream to a certain length, but sometimes you just got to have a part 2 or even a part 3 when the conversation is so good. So, Darren, listen, why don't we pick it up? First of all, tell everybody again who you are and what you are all about.
Yeah, so hello, everybody. So what I am primarily, I suppose, is I'm really a storyteller and a LinkedIn coach, a little bit of both. Yes, another bloody LinkedIn coach, as you might be saying. But yeah, what I really do is I really focus on the marketing, the LinkedIn side of things, the strategy. But for me, a key part of it is storytelling. And we're beginning to see it done more and more in sorts on LinkedIn, but it can still be done a lot better. So quite simply, when we share our stories with others, when we share our stories with whether it be prospects or whether it be what I like to call distributors, influencers who aren't necessarily going to buy our service or our product, but who will work with us. When we share these stories, we just connect on that deeper, more emotional level. It's easier for us to be remembered when we're telling stories because nobody cares about the perfect hero. There is no such thing. Achilles had his heel, Superman is kryptonite. So it's really trying to shine light upon those imperfections that in turn make us the perfect coaches, perfect solopreneurs, perfect businesses for our clients.
Yeah, I love that because what is the most compelling part of the story when you're watching a movie? One of the most compelling parts that really grabs you and draws you in is when your hero or your star of the story is having troubles and they're going up against adversity, and then it's overcoming that adversity and it's come rising at the end that really compares you. So our journey that we're going through and the struggles and challenges that we have are all part of our story. Trying to pretend they don't happen really hurts us, right? Not helps us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the reason why people are wanting to connect with us. As you say, when it gets to that complication, we get a cocktail, a chemical cocktail happening in our brains naturally. We've evolved to have this. We've got our dopamine, we've got our oxytocin, we've got adrenaline running through us because we want to get to that stage where we find out, is the hero, the person who we have this interest in, this relatable character, are they able to succeed? Are they able to overcome this challenge? Ultimately, 9 times out of 10, of course they do. But it's taking people on that journey with you, which really allows them to connect with you on that emotional level. So yeah, absolutely. If somebody's a coach or a solopreneur, or if you've got a product, people want to know the problem that it solves. People don't care about benefits. Benefits are very old kind of sales techniques. Yes, benefits are important, but people want to know what's in it for them. How can this person solve their problem, whether it be through a service-based or a product-based offer?
Yeah, and that is so true. I had a really good friend that does similar things to what you do. I mean, we're all in this to some extent, trying to help people working together. And this friend of mine, it was interesting because you talk about benefits, and she was saying that, when somebody says, and I helped a customer with this the other day, exact thing. When somebody stands up and says, we are a company of integrity, we are a company that stands behind what we do, we are a company that is there for you, the first thing that really comes to most of our minds is, I hope so. Because if you're not that kind of a company, I'm not even looking at you. That is not differentiating yourself in the marketplace. What that's doing is it's laying a basic baseline that people are already should be operating from. We want companies of integrity that stand behind the work, that do what they say, right? A good company. So that does not make any difference in the marketplace. What makes you different? And that's where the story comes in, right?
That's it. I mean, reliability always there for you. These are features, right? And again, it's a little bit like to take it down the sales narrative when people just talk about features. Okay, this new computer's got X, Y, Z. Okay, brilliant, great to hear. I love that. But what are the benefits? What does it bring me? And that's where I feel storytelling really bridges that gap to really show the benefits. We've got to know that person's story. We've got to know why that person's experiences, usually negative, that have been turned into positive. Why has that person been able to go through them? How have they accomplished it? And what was the outcome? What's the outcome of those benefits rather than solely relying upon features? And it's something that I see done all the bloody time. People using storytelling, but it's not storytelling. They're bloody anecdotes they're giving. I went to the shop. I then went and got some petrol. After that, I went to work. There was a traffic jam. Then I arrived on work. It's just a series of listless events. That traffic jam is where something interesting could actually happen. There'd be a complication. If there's a traffic jam, what were you worried about? What was going to happen if you were late to work? Was it nothing, or would you miss a meeting, or would you perhaps arrive in late and it separates the rest of your day? It causes problems. It's that complication. We want that tension being heightened towards that complication. From a coaching perspective, perhaps it's somebody who's in the health and well-being. Let's say they're a health and well-being coach. Great. I don't give a shit about how physical you're in the best shape of your life. And I don't want you to be the Greek Adonis. I want to know when you were that guy on the sofa, couldn't be bothered getting up and going out and exercising. Those people are always more inspirational when it's people who have turned things around to bring them, to make themselves better. That's the person I want to follow, Russ, not the guy who was built with 24-inch pythons like Hulk Hogan. I don't want to follow him. I want to follow the normal person who had this problem and was to overcome it. So that's why within the coaching, within the solopreneur space, within multi-million-dollar business space, we must be telling our stories. Apple, whether you love them or hate them, know how to tell stories. I've said it before. There's nothing great about an iPhone. Sorry, Steve Jobs, as he's turning in his grave, but there's nothing that great about an iPhone. It's the feeling. People will say, I don't have any money, but they'll shell out $1,200 on the latest iPhone. It's that feeling it gives them. They feel part of this community, and it's the stories which are told. And for me, Apple do it very, very well. The hero of the story that they've given their marketing is never the iPhone. The iPhone doesn't necessarily solve the problems. It's the feeling of the belonging they go for. And it's these stories which truly resonate.
Right. Oh my goodness. So good. So good. Mic drop, over and over. It's interesting because I love the quote, the people will forget what you say, they will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That is so true in storytelling too. 100%. And it's interesting because a lot of times, I don't know if you get this, Darren, in coaching, you may talk to somebody and some concepts and ideas are pretty simple, right? The idea of what you're the idea that you're trying to tell a story might be a simple concept, but I always tell people, but it's clearly not easy. And I usually let that sit and I say, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. Simple concepts, people still love that tension. They love that story. They love that what's going on. I equate this to a Hallmark movie. Hallmark has one basic script. The exact same thing happens every movie, and you know what's going to happen. But that time when the tension comes, when the couple gets in a fight, and when they can't get together, and the tension, will they get together at the end? Well, we know they're going to get together at the end. However, we have that tension that keeps us involved in the story, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When we're able to throw a few boomerangs in there, when we're able to lead within storytelling, and again, you're right. I think we do actually we've all got the potential to tell stories, Russ. When you get home when your partner gets home from work and you say, how was your day? You usually get, if it's it was okay, that's fine. But guaranteed there's going to be a story if something went wrong. So we've all got the potential to be telling stories. put two toddlers together and they'll tell stories to one another all the time. We kind of lose that. I like to call it our storytelling lens. We forget and we lose our lenses the older we get. Little parts of vulnerability, insecurity creep into this. We don't want to share those vulnerabilities because we're conditioned to believe that it therefore leaves us weak and open to be exploited. But in actual fact, when we do share our vulnerabilities, when we do share our stories, we connect on that deeper level. So when I'm storytelling, you're absolutely right. We do have a basic structure. We've got our normal world, how things were. We've got this complication, this problem which happened, which had to be overcome. Otherwise, something bad would happen. We'd be stuck in the same 9 to 5 the rest of our lives. Or we might lose somebody, whatever it is. And then that new normal, what the world looks like after this complication's been sorted out. It's the same basic ways that everybody tells stories. But the more advanced that you get, you want to be throwing people off the scent. And that's how we almost get them to forget about the idea that, yeah, they might be able to almost predict the ending, but we throw in a few little U-turns to be getting them thinking, well, is this going to happen? Is that happening? I always give the example, if you set up a story whereby you're out walking in the bush and you do it exactly right as they get to the top of the mountain, let's say it's two friends out hiking, and they start to hear a rustle in the bushes. If they've been warned beforehand that there's lots of snakes and it's a dangerous place, they are convinced it's a snake that's going to be in the bushes. Whereas if they're not warned beforehand, it could be the wind, it could be a rabbit, it could be anything. So with stories, we want to be laying down these clues, these markers, as we get to that climax, and it helps to heighten that tension. So yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got the ability to do it, but we need to be crafting stories. These are the best ones. Too many people think that storytelling is that you tell a story and that's it. That's not it at all. You think about friends, relatives who are the storytellers. Every company's got the company storyteller. They'll tell the same story 100 times, but you still want to listen to it because they've just perfected it over time. You're crafting that story, and that's what's so important.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is so good. And part of what why we have such a similar mindset, and I love all that you're about, Darren, is that, I'm really helping people tell their story also in their marketing and helping them market. So I say, I help you market you, right? I help you get out there and tell a story that differentiates you from the competition. And the same thing with your social media and your online presence. So often people are throwing up all this company benefits and logos and things that I'm like, people don't really care.
No,
they don't really care. I mean, I love the John Maxwell quote says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They want to know that you're in it for them. Like you said, what do you do for them? Do you care about them at all? Or are you just going to splatter them with all of this garbage about what they do and not really tell them what you're going to do for them? And it's that excitement level too. And you, as somebody mentioned in the comments a little while ago, you have such a great energy level, Darren, and people like that in a story too. They like to really have that passion, whether you're telling it like this on video or whether you're telling it in print, however you're doing it, they want to feel that passion behind what you're telling them, right?
Yeah, so important. And again, I think it's also important to stress that, some of the best storytellers I know would be introverts. It's about having that energy, whether it be through your writing or through your performance of it. It doesn't have to always look the same. People have got to find their own stories. The worst stories are those which are appropriated from others. The worst stories are those where it's almost fill in the blanks. I get some clients just wanting a fill in the blanks template kind of story. And it's, well, no, this is never going to work. To be able to tell your story, you've got to own it. To be able to own it, you've got to know it, you've got to have experienced it, and you've got to have felt it. So if you're able to do that through storytelling, people can almost forgive not the best crafted story if the person behind it has a clear structure and they at least know where they're going with it. And it's true. I think marketing has just moved on so much. Even if you just think about social selling, it used to be okay. You used to be able to get away with just throwing out the features, a couple of benefits, but it's really moved on now. We are in the age of influencer marketing, so to speak, and stories really are what tie them all beneath. And to be an influencer marketing can absolutely be having 500, 1,000 connections in LinkedIn. Don't fall into the trap that you need 10K plus connections to be an influencer or to make money. That's absolute nonsense. The best communities in LinkedIn are built organically from the ground up. Having tens of thousands of followers, but getting 3 comments, which are all your own, throwing somebody to your bloody lead magnet and a like that's your own, that's not going to get you anywhere. So telling our stories progressively and just always telling them, just telling where we were, this problem we had, how we overcame it, is absolutely vital.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is so good. And, really you could rename marketing in today's world to storytelling, I think, because really that's what you're doing. You're really trying to tell that story and compel people to want to work with you. That's where the know, like, and trust factor comes in. It comes in, people get to know and like you based on your story and who you are. When I work with people, I want people that I really know and like, and I want to help them, right? I know their story. I know what they're all about. I'm compelled to support them and help them. And I think that is so important in all that you're saying, is that, you're really drawing those people in. And I just think that's so amazing. Really, again, it goes back to, it's really kind of a simple concept, but it's something that people aren't really tracking with, or not really clicking into and using. And that's where somebody like you comes in, Darren, and you do amazing work. So you are over, and let's talk about not features and benefits, but let's talk about a few practical things. So when people get compelled to your story, that's where your website comes in with all the features and benefits you do, so they can look at that and say, oh yeah, he does do what I want him to do. So what do you do exactly for people, and how can you help them today?
Yes, I mean, what I do essentially is that I work with people who are usually coaches, solopreneurs, a few SMEs, and it's really just allowing them to uncover their stories, to give them the confidence to tell their stories. But it doesn't just stop then. People have got an idea that storytelling must always be through this very identifiable framework and narrative, and sometimes not always. So quite a lot of the content that I teach my clients to create is based upon the 6 essential elements which we've spoken about before. You've got a relatable character. Your audience are just like you, and you are just like them. Ideally, you've got a problem. You're a few steps ahead of where they want to be. You've got specific details, so you're able to show them that you understand the world that they live in, that you understand their frustrations, you understand their worldview, how they feel to be them. You've got Goldilocks emotion, genuine, authentic emotion, not too much, not too little, just the right amount, that helps to build that trust and show that you are human with vulnerabilities, insecurities, just like everybody else. We've then got that important complication, getting that rush of the dopamine, the oxytocin coming towards the top of the climax and making us want to know what happened next. We've then got, from there, we go into our brief moment of significant change, that moment where you realize what you had to do to solve that problem, then the lesson learned. So what I often teach is taking at least 3 or 4 of these elements and putting them in every LinkedIn post. So every LinkedIn post must have a relatable character. If you're not relatable to your audience, how can you expect them to work with you? So that's what I do. I take them through my video accelerator, whereby I teach them all about, first of all, community building. Because if there's no community around you, that content just ain't going to fly. So I teach people how to build communities with the right people. I've got people with just over 600 followers that are pulling in close to 5 figures a month now, just from 600-700 followers. So I teach them how to build that community the right way. From there, it's all on to storytelling, content creation, how to tell stories, but how to use it within your content so that you are able to show the world your view and also to position yourself as an expert in their space. I then go through the DM strategy, the sales and everything like that with them. So really what it is, Russ, a lot of people on LinkedIn, you'll get a lot of LinkedIn coaches that will show you how to make your content get great engagement. But what's the next stage? Or you'll get people to show you how to do conversion. But again, if you've not got a community and good content, that conversion is really difficult to do. So that's how I work with people. I help them with their storytelling. I help them understand what it is and what it looks like on LinkedIn. And more importantly, how to implement it to get more clients.
Well, and there you go. How to implement it's really a critical step. And that's where people need that encouragement, that wisdom and help from somebody like you. And I love, you and I are on completely the same page. I mean, it's all about connection and community building to begin. Because if you do not connect and you do not have a community, like you said, what you're saying is going nowhere. Doesn't matter how good it is. Doesn't matter how effective it is. If there's nobody there listening, then then that's your number one problem. So
Well, it's so disheartening, Russ, isn't it? I mean, I was there, I've been there like so many, creating content, because it takes a hell of a long time at the beginning to create it. You don't really know your audience. You don't necessarily, you think you know the problems that you solve, but you're maybe not entirely sure. So you're spending time building content, creating it, and just watching it get crickets in response. And it's disheartening after a while. And it's because there's been no community built. When you know how to build a community, what to do to sustain that community and to allow it to keep on growing, then that content begins to resonate. Because to your point, Russ, you found the right people to populate that community with. Therefore, of course, naturally, the content you're creating is going to resonate with them. And we begin to see that greater engagement. So it all starts with community. It's such a thing that people miss out on. And just got to be honest, engagement pods, great post. Thanks for sharing. That's never going to work. It'll get you lots of likes and comments, but no customers because there's no value being given.
right. Yeah. And I think, it's important there too, knowing who you're trying to build as your community and your audience, getting the right people in the door so that you can convert them to customers, people that want to work with you. And I think a lot of that is that engagement, communication, real organic engagement and communication. And I think one thing that's really big, I'm just curious your thoughts on this. It's really helpful here in our last couple of minutes. And that is polls are great, and asking people questions and then listening to what they say, because your customers will give you the information you need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Polls, not so much now. 12 months ago, polls were just virals, just waiting to happen. It's not happening so much now. But yeah, absolutely. Polls are a great way. Many times people won't give pain points publicly in comments, but they will do in polls. I teach a strategy. I would say polls are my number two way of converting clients, actually, and the same for the clients who work with me. Polls are amazing for getting new business, but again, you've got to have that strategy behind it to know what to be doing, what to trigger into, what kind of questions to be asking. But yeah, especially if you're not sure about pain points and things like that, polls are a really low friction, easy way that people can be leaning into to be finding that information more and to be building community and conversation around.
Yeah, that is so great. That is so great. Well, listen, hey, as we wrap things up, Darren, for our part 2 of this conversation, man, it's been amazing. We could keep talking, but I really want you to let everybody know what you want them to remember from today. What's that nugget you want them to take away? And then remind everybody how they get in touch with you.
Sure. Nugget to take away. Tell stories. It doesn't matter if you think they're great. It doesn't matter if you think you're a writer. It doesn't matter if you're nervous about it. Tell stories, especially if you're using LinkedIn. It's a supportive community. Take some time. Think about that problem that you had that's related to the people that either you work with or if you're a coach that you want to become clients. What's that problem? It could be insecurity. It could be something related to what you now work on. Think about that problem you had and build out that narrative around it, where you were before, the normal world, the complication, and then the new normal. Use that structure and just watch how much engagement you will begin to get. Stick a selfie in with it as well, and you're going to go far. So that's what I would say when it comes to remember, just experiment, try, test it out. Just write. The longer you delay it, the longer it takes you to get to that day where you think, shit, wish I'd done this a year or 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So just go ahead. Don't stress about it. And best way to connect, obviously, here on LinkedIn. I've also got a Killer Hooks guide, which is absolutely free. You get a 34-minute video, PDF guide, my top 10 performing hooks of all time with more than 2 million views, and a framework for you to be using as well. It's the main reason, Russ, people are not getting that see more button clicked. The latest algorithm research proves what I've been saying for a while. That see more button is the most powerful button on our content. How do you get it hooked? With a killer hook. So you can sign up to that, and you can also sign up as well. I'm doing a free 5-day training. darrengibb.com/wait list, and it will take you to there. So that is going to allow you to sign up when you find out more about it when it's launched. So the next few weeks it's going to be launching. So again, darrengibb.com/wait list. I'll put it into the comments here for you, Russ, just because I can type and talk more or less. darrengibb.com/
And we have, thank you for that. And we have a lot of that going in there as well. There you go. We got it. You got it. We're double covered. So listen, perfect. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on again today. And I'm going to send you to the green room. Hang tight for just a second as I wrap up. But just thank you. What a blessing you've been. Thank you.
Not at all. And thank you, everyone, for staying with us, watching, connect, obviously. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, Russ. Always a pleasure to be here with you, my friend.
You bet. Wow. Okay. So it gets better every time. I'm telling you, you guys, I mean, I have so many friends that are so amazing and doing crazy good things. And you need to tune into that because it is some great information that will help you tell your story, that will help you reach the customers, the people you want to reach, will help you connect, engage with your ideal clients out there, the people you really are trying to connect with. And if you are like me and you're trying to be a blessing, help other people, really make things go in your business, somebody like Darren is amazing to click into. You need to go to him, and all of his information is clickable in the comments and the show notes. I highly encourage you to connect with him and let him give you more information. I appreciate everybody being here today too. We had such a great group, and many of you have been in the comments. If you haven't, before the show's over today, just so we know you were there, because I know there's a lot of you that have not commented yet that are sitting there watching. Click a hi in the comments or let us know where you're watching from. Just appreciate you so much. Remember, we are here on Marketing with Russ every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time now, Pacific Standard Time. There you go, on the West Coast of the U.S. And love to have you join us from wherever you are joining us from. And I just want to tell you, thanks again. Remember, you can connect with me on russhedge.com. That's russhedge.com. Also, all of Darren's connection information is in the show notes, as we had talked about. And I just appreciate you all again for being here. Until we see you again this coming Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or Pacific Standard Time, whatever it is. Have a great day and a great life. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.